The markets are spooked, and Jerome Powell just poured gasoline on the fire. The Fed chair's latest warning sent ripples of fear through Wall Street. But what's really driving this anxiety? It's not just one thing. It's a toxic cocktail of uncertainty. We're talking chip wars strangling giants like NVIDIA, confusing signals from the White House leaving businesses paralyzed, and the looming shadow of potential trade wars threatening to hike prices and kill jobs. And caught right in the middle? Jerome Powell, walking a tightrope between controlling inflation and avoiding a recession, with whispers of intense political pressure mounting ahead of a crucial Fed meeting. Is a clash between Trump and the Fed inevitable? And how could a controversial economic plan, seemingly ripped from a bygone era, clash with the realities of your financial future? Stay tuned, because we're breaking down the hidden conflicts, the powerful players, and what this perfect storm of economic uncertainty could mean for your wallet. Market reaction to Federal Reserve Chair. Jerome Powell's recent warning was negative, reflecting concerns among investors. Two primary factors contribute to this sentiment. Firstly, the situation surrounding semiconductor chips involves not only existing export bans, but also uncertainty regarding future demand. Companies lack clarity about where they will be permitted to sell their products. NVIDIA, a company with a significant global market capitalization, exemplifies this challenge. The Biden administration implemented export restrictions affecting chip sales. Subsequently, NVIDIA's CEO reportedly met with former President Trump seeking an arrangement to potentially sell high-end chips to China. However, subsequent unclear announcements regarding trade policy have created confusion. This lack of predictability compels companies to adopt a more cautious operational stance, potentially restraining global economic growth. Secondly, Jerome Powell's actions are dictated by the Federal Reserve's dual mandate, maintaining full employment and ensuring stable prices. The current focus is predominantly on price stability. Uncertainty surrounding tariffs and the potential duration of trade conflicts raises concerns about future price increases, which could in turn lead to higher unemployment. This places Chair Powell in a complex situation preceding the Federal Open Market Committee meeting scheduled for May 7th. It is anticipated that former President Trump may exert pressure on Powell to reduce interest rates. Such a move could potentially undermine the objective of price stability. Powell, appointed by Trump, has previously managed significant economic challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent inflation surge. The extent of pressure Trump might apply leading up to the May 7th meeting remains to be seen. Regarding recent meetings involving Japanese officials, former President Trump characterized them as yielding big progress, although specific details were not disclosed. Reports confirm the meetings took place in Washington with the stated goal of advancing collaborative efforts, but outcomes remain unspecified. Historical patterns indicate former President Trump often engages in public disagreements with the Federal Reserve Chair. Similar pressure is anticipated regarding Powell and interest rate policy. While both Powell and his predecessor, Janet Yellen, have historically demonstrated resilience to such pressures, this dynamic is expected to resurface. Consequently, speculation regarding Powell's potential replacement may also emerge. A political analysis of Trump's proposed economic strategy suggests an effort to restore large-scale, low-skilled manufacturing within the U.S. This strategy appears alongside proposals to increase deportations of immigrants currently filling low-skilled jobs, promote the coal industry, and reduce federal funding for research and education, sectors traditionally linked to economic advancement. Critics contend this approach is detached from the realities of an interdependent global economy where investment in research and development, R&D, is crucial for growth. This contrasts with initiatives under the Biden administration aimed at reshoring essential manufacturing capabilities identified as critical during the COVID-19 pandemic. This perspective may resonate with viewpoints, potentially associated with figures like J.D. Vance, representing regions such as Ohio significantly impacted by economic shifts resulting from globalization. While acknowledging the overall economic benefits of globalization, it is recognized that certain communities and sectors within the U.S. economy experienced negative consequences. Issues arise when corporate focus shifts excessively towards shareholder supremacy and quarterly results, potentially neglecting long-term value creation for communities and the nation. Current regulations have not compelled a change in these corporate priorities. This environment of increasing uncertainty, coupled with the prospect of trade conflicts, including disputes with Canada, introduces further complications. Businesses facing this ambiguity may delay investments, such as building new factories. This hesitancy could negatively impact workers. Furthermore, companies might accelerate the adoption of automation and artificial intelligence, AI, as a response, potentially displacing the very workers these policies ostensibly aim to support. Critics express skepticism regarding the feasibility and positive impact of the economic plans associated with former President Trump. Two primary groups are identified as continuing to defend these plans: individuals within his immediate circle, potentially aiming to moderate his policies, and business interests securing specific exemptions or advantages perceived as self-enriching. While potentially legal, these arrangements are viewed by some observers as detrimental to sound business practices and effective global policymaking. Analysis suggests that during the initial period of the Trump administration, significant effort was directed towards controlling the public narrative. Issues such as diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, initiatives and deportation policies were allegedly emphasized as distractions from addressing core economic concerns. This strategy becomes less tenable as market volatility increases, causing broader public anxiety. The challenge going forward involves addressing economic issues without relying on these narrative control techniques, a task facing not only the administration but the associated political party as well. It is asserted that trade wars negatively impact both consumers, Main Street, and financial markets, Wall Street, by increasing prices for everyday goods. Furthermore, admiration expressed by the administration for figures like Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban raises concerns, as Hungary's economic model is not widely considered aspirational. The argument is made that strengthening the U.S. economy relies on principles of free markets, free trade, and individual liberty. While financial markets can potentially profit from volatility and recessions through mechanisms like short selling, operational businesses lack this ability to hedge against themselves. Consequently, businesses face significant operational uncertainty. Economic growth indicators require careful monitoring. Despite recent market fluctuations, including declines in the S&P 500 and Dow Jones indices from their highs, the underlying economic fundamentals remain the primary focus. Achieving clarity on the tariff situation is considered crucial for assessing the economy's trajectory, particularly as signs of economic weakening were emerging prior to the latest trade developments. Market reactions following the November 6th period initially favored sectors expected to benefit from deregulation and tax reductions. However, this trend reversed even before significant policy discussions commenced. A comparison is drawn to 2017, when the Trump administration prioritized and successfully implemented tax cuts, providing a stimulus to the economy and markets. Subsequently, the focus shifted towards trade tariffs. The current approach appears different, raising questions about the administration's strategy for addressing prevailing economic challenges facing Americans. The rationale behind the administration's aggressive initial focus on trade tariffs, particularly targeting allies, remains unclear to many observers. Discussions encompass various economic factors, including tariffs, potential interest rate changes, and the upcoming refinancing of a significant portion of the U.S. federal debt in June. While these complex economic issues are understood within financial circles, their direct impact on the average consumer, Main Street, is less apparent. However, the tangible effect on consumers is the rising cost of household goods. Prices are expected to increase further when the administration eliminates a loophole next month. This loophole currently facilitates the import of low-cost goods from China via platforms like Temu, Shein, Amazon, and Walmart. Scott Bessent noted previously that purchasing low-cost goods, while perhaps not the American dream, has become a common practice. The closure of this loophole is anticipated to directly affect voters nationwide next month. This price increase is expected to exacerbate existing concerns about affordability and the financial pressures on the middle class, which have already contributed to public discontent. Some commentary has been directed towards Wall Street figures who reportedly supported former President Trump based on non-economic factors like opposition to DEI initiatives, while simultaneously believing he would not actually implement widespread tariffs. The subsequent implementation of tariffs, consistent with campaign promises, has led to criticism of those who underestimated his intentions. Attention has also focused on individuals like Scott Bessent, with speculation surrounding his potential influence within the administration and his role in trade negotiations. Recent reports place Bessent abroad, not engaged in the anticipated trade negotiations with Japan and Washington. His previous assertion of being able to secure 90 deals with 90 countries in 90 days is also noted. The interplay between economic conditions and political outcomes is highlighted, referencing Bill Clinton's 1992 campaign slogan, "It's the economy, stupid." While midterm elections are distant, the administration's ability to control rising prices is seen as crucial for its political standing and that of the associated party. Disagreement exists regarding whether the administration's focus on issues like DEI and immigration served merely as a distraction or represented core policy priorities alongside tariffs. The aggressive pursuit of these priorities early in the term is observed, though the long-term political and economic consequences remain uncertain. So the picture becomes clearer, yet murkier. Businesses frozen by uncertainty, potentially turning to automation instead of hiring. Consumers facing the very real prospect of everyday goods becoming more expensive, thanks to looming tariffs and closing loopholes impacting everything from Amazon to Temu. We see political strategies focusing on narrative control, perhaps distracting from tough economic truths, and figures like Scott Bessent operating behind the scenes with bold promises. Music swells slightly. It boils down to this: conflicting economic visions, pressure on the Federal Reserve, and the undeniable impact on Main Street. While Wall Street might find ways to profit from volatility, ordinary Americans and businesses are left navigating a minefield. Will Powell withstand the pressure? Can the economy handle another trade shock? And most importantly, when that import loophole closes next month, how much more will you be paying? Let us know your biggest concerns in the comments below. If this analysis helped you connect the dots, smash that like button, subscribe for more insights you won't get elsewhere, and hit the notification bell. The economic winds are shifting. Stay informed with us.